Here with
Jeff Leaman, one of the assistant principals here at WJ. This is my 5th year at WJ.
if you're at WJ, and before WJ, where were you working?
I was 11 years as an assistant principal at Tilden Middle School. For all those Tilden fans out there, good to see everybody.
Me personally, I was not, but I'm happy. Obviously, you're now here at WJ, so your 5th year. What prompted the switch to a high school instead of a traditional middle school?
Well, I finally made it out of middle school. They finally let me pass and graduate up to high school. I've always had a desire to move up to high school, but just for the right time with my family and such, it was the right time. So moved on up to high school. I enjoy the athletic aspect of things, bigger people, and getting to see you guys off to college and such, and just kind of see the whole from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade. It's been a great experience. It's been a great experience.
Yeah, me personally, 3 years was enough for me, but I'm happy 11 years was enough for you. Now, it's a new school year, 2022, obviously, going into year 2023. What is one thing you were trying to accomplish this year as opposed to other years you've been an administrator here?
I would say one of the biggest things that I personally am trying to accomplish is getting back to normal. Yeah, after the last 2 years with pandemic, COVID, it's been a constant change and a constant pivoting, trying to figure out new solutions to problems. Very complex, a lot of work to it, but I feel like this is getting back to normal, and it actually feels really good. It feels like a normal high school year. So I'm really excited about that year and just, again, getting back to normal and helping students get back on track with their graduation and their goals for the future.
All right. You've listed a lot of things that you've liked about the school, like the athletics, the people, but do you have a favorite thing about Walter Johnson High School?
Actually, cool connection. My grandmother actually danced with Walter Johnson at some of the barn dances way back in the day. So I've got some cool connections like that just from my family being in Montgomery County for quite some time. So yeah.
That's honestly amazing. I'm a baseball fanatic. That stuff makes me happy. So phones have always been a little bit of a distraction in class, but this year MCPS has taken a much firmer stance. Of course, this is WJ, this is a local high school, but do you have any idea why that change was suddenly prompted this year?
I think I wouldn't say it was sudden. It has been a topic for quite some time. We've seen, from an adult standpoint of things, they can be a huge distraction for students, and there's a time and a place for it. We're trying to get back to academics being the center of attention versus the social media, some of the drama that causes. I'm a big fan of the phone policy as it is. MCPS pushed it out. At the same time, they gave us some leeway with it as well. We could have been stricter. Some schools are not allowing phones during transition at all. But knowing that our student body does a really good job with things, we figured that was an okay time for them to be able to, be on their phones and engage in that. It's part of, the social atmosphere growing up. You get some additional responsibilities and manage those pieces. So as an ILT, we talked about it. That's the instructional leadership team. We decided that, students should be able to have it during the transition times. But during class, it's really not necessary because we've got Chromebooks. The focus should be on instruction. When students are going to the restroom, you don't need your phone going to the restroom. It's kind of gross too, to be honest, but just leave it in class. Like, you'll get back to class faster anyways. We don't need to meet up with friends in the bathroom or other things. Just get back to the instruction side of things.
All right, now a local WJ change. Of course, other schools like Blair have had this policy for quite a while with the IDs being worn with the lanyards to show identification.
Yeah.
Why now? What prompted this sudden change?
Why now? I appreciate the conversation.
Synergy or magic make me sound better.
We've had some discussion about it. Part of our ILT, our instructional leadership team, over the summer, we look at the student voice data, staff data, staff voice data, and look at what the energy is around. Safety and security, from the situation that we had at, Magruder last year to Uvalde, there's definitely a heightened sense around people wanting to feel safe and secure. When we had this pandemic going on and every student had, masks at times, it was challenging to identify students and know who's one of the WJ family and who's not. And I don't know if you know this or not, but last year we did have students that got into the school building that were not WJ students and pulled our fire alarm. They sent all 2,900 students out, and that was not okay. Like, we didn't know if there was a fire, if there was not a fire, had to get everybody out. It disrupted the instructional school day. Then we had to work with our cameras to identify the students. We had to follow up with the police, follow up with the fire marshal, to then follow up with their families and everything else. Like, it was an exhaustive time, and they never should have been in the building to begin with. And that's one example, but we've had students at WJ go to other buildings and get into other buildings. I've got no business being over there. If you're invited, that's great. But it's really hard to tell who's our student, who's not our student, when there's 3,000 students and 300 staff members. So we just wanted to do a better job. We know it's an issue, and if we don't address that issue, that's a problem, right? We know it's an issue. We need to do something to address it, and students have a vital part of this in terms of, it's something small. An ID badge, it's small. It's not a big deal. When you go to college, when you go to the workforce, whatever the case may be, you're going to be wearing ID badges. It's not a huge ask, and then everybody has a role in this. Everybody has a role in this. So it's something that we can do. It's something that I think will help us be able to identify, those that don't belong in WJ, bring it to the attention of the staff members so that we can get it addressed and make sure that we are safe. That's the bottom line. We want to make sure that everybody's safe.
Of course, it's a huge student body, a lot of staff too. The ID badge, looks pretty good on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pretty, I'd wear it. Why not? But it's 2,900 students. That's a lot of people. And how are the staff going to enforce this new rule?
So you bring it up as enforce, right?
I do.
You do, and we don't look at it as enforce. Okay, this is about individuals having the ability to help create a safer environment here at WJ. If I'm, pulling a student aside and having a conversation like, why don't you have your ID badge? It's going to be a conversation. Like, help me understand. Who doesn't want to feel safe in their school? Nobody. Everybody wants to feel safe in their school. So this is just something, that I think through discussion, we can figure this out. We can work with it and help people understand why we're doing what we're doing. And I'm hoping to get a lot of buy-in from students because it's important. It's important.
And one final question before we go to our break.
Sure.
I've heard from a lot of people, every class besides the freshmen, obviously, that, IDs now? What happened? What did we do? Is this like an attack against us? Can you counter this?
Yeah, no, it is not. It's not an attack, and I think from my previous statements and comments, like we know that we can do better with safety. We know we can do better with safety. So it is not a do this because we're telling you to do it. It is we want your buy-in. From the student voice data, it was we want to feel safer in school. From everything going on in this country, everybody wants to feel safer. Well, we can help out with that if we're working together. So I want it to be a collaborative piece, not a admin or security against students. Like that's not it at all. Like we need to do better with safety and security. I mean that's the bottom line, and it's
that easy.
Look, that's it, right? Hey, in the morning I've got a new routine. There you go.
That's it.
And if there's any issues, if there's any concerns about it, like, we'll figure it out together. But like, we want to have that buy-in. So if there's a concern about it, let us know what it is. You need 2 different IDs, like whatever. Like we're fine. You need to live. You're split between families, houses, whatever the case may be. You need to. that's fine, no problem. Like, we're going to be solution oriented to make this something that it's easy to do. Yeah.
So going on, this freshman class is quite big, and of course, when I came here as a freshman, it was a big change for me, and I wish I asked for more help. Is there anything you want to say to the freshman class who may be feeling a bit lost, a bit confused with all the new routines? Any words of advice you'd like to give them?
Well, I would say with the routines that are getting established right now, it's just important to find some trusted adults, that you feel like a good connection, whether it be a teacher, building service worker, security, admin, like whoever it is, main office staff. Like, just find an adult that you can relate with, and then whenever you have a question or a problem, like, you've got them to go to, and they'll help steer you in the right direction. We try to make a lot of things available, a lot of information available, but it can be information overload, and it's not always the right time that the right time when you need that information is when we're giving it to you. But if you have that trusted adult to go to, like, we'll match you up with the right resources and be able to support. There's a lot of tutoring programs, offerings that are going on right now. There's so many clubs that are available. There's so many just awesome things that WJ does very, very well. So ask questions. We'll be able to find the right path for you. Get you support that you need, whether it be academic or social emotional or what have you. Find that trusted adult. If you don't have a trusted adult, I'm down in the main office. Stop on by. We've got an open door policy. We'll figure it out together. We'll go from there.
All right, and I feel like you've answered my next question perfectly. Admin is here to help. If any problems you have, just come by. And that leads us to our final question. You've said a lot of stuff in this interview. Is there anything else you would like to add, just to make any more clarifying points about all the new policy changes or anything? It's your open space.
I would say from the standpoint of the policy changes that we have, going on, it's all about upgrades and, based on what's happened in the past, trying to predict, what could, happen in the future and how better to support students and families and those kind of things. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So we really appreciate the student voice. We have a student advisory committee as well that, works with Mrs. Baker. We've got clubs that are going on. Get involved. Get involved in the different clubs. We want to hear the information. We'll problem solve together and figure out how to make WJ the family that it is. I mean, we spend a lot of time here. Some of you spend more time here than you do at your own house. I know a lot of staff members spend more time here than at their own house, but we've got a phenomenal staff, a lot of caring individuals, so if there's anything that we could do for you guys, gals, folks, we're here to help, and we may not have all the answers, but we're here to problem solve and figure things out together if necessary. But at the end of the day, I want happy kids and for you guys to have some opportunities in life, whatever that may be for you afterwards, that you set yourself up for success, whether it's off to college or off to the workforce or off to whatever. What are your dreams? What are your hopes? What are your desires? Let's figure it out and how to get you there. That'd be about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leaman. We really appreciate your time here. You've answered some really hard questions and you gave some even better answers. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Appreciate that so much. All right, we can cut it.
Cut.
All right. Wasted your time enough.
No. Again, not.